I still can't make sense of life. Every passing day, it gets real old. It gets real tiring. It gets so hard to breathe. It's just BS after BS after BS. It never stops. It never ceases to amaze us. It never changes. Or it does, but it's for the worse. Some people hope, especially those that are really down bad. They're trying to hold on for dear life, hold on to that hope, the beacon of hope, hoping that things would change, hoping that things would really revolutionize, just like the French Revolution and whatever revolutions there were historically. It gets real exhausting trying to fight, and then it leads to nowhere for the most part. It's a means to no end. And then there's the stupidities all around, the 8 deadly sins running rampant, adamant, prevalent and prominent and dominant. And then you got the loneliness epidemic. Shout out to one of the channels that I watched, one of the main ones that I watched. He also spoke about all this BS going on. And yeah, I'm also speaking about it in this video right now. Got AI rising again. It's gonna rise, it's gonna expand, it's gonna enlarge. It's not stopping. I mean, on our part, on our ends, it's kind of good, so that hopefully we can get the AI girlfriends and all that, the real, almost in the flesh kind of thing, like Detroit, like that game, or whatever, or like The Island, the movie, Ewan McGregor, Scarlett Johansson, the clones. Yeah, even though clones are scary, but I mean robots too, but I'm just saying the realism of those things, like ultra realistic 8K kind of thing, real life realism, real life realistic. Or the engines used in video games is like the Unreal Engine or the Unity engines. But yeah, workplaces giving low wages, difficulty getting a job. It's just so retarded. Lack of motivation, losing hope, and then losing copes too. just like my old video where I made copes become poisonous, and then copes are also getting boring. 2026, sooner than you think, sooner rather than later, it's gonna be over. It's gonna be June already. It's already middle of 2026, and then next thing you know, I'll be making the video almost 2027, and then January 1st, 2027, and then after that, I don't think I'll be making again. I'll just be making for 2026 and 2027, those types of short videos kind of thing. And so far, the quote-unquote progress of the year is, 30-70, because 2025 for me was 50-50, now it's 30-70, yeah. 30% good, 70% bad, because I've been through some countless of not countless, countless means infinite, almost. But obviously I did not go through that extended amounts of BS. I've been through significant amounts, which I'll be making a separate video about, and I'll be titling it Demiurgic Experiences. All thanks to yours truly up above the demiurge, screwing with me, screwing with us, making us unattractive, making us intimidating, making us unappealing, and we have to end up alone. At the very least, can we have some connections, Never mind relationships. Relationships aside first, even though that would be nice. But at the very fucking least, relationships. Nope, we can't even have that. It's null and void, it's zilch, it's zero, it's a nil, nothing. We are still speculating, conspiring in a way. We are still trying to figure out what happens after we die. Because we are still not so sure, We're still not so sure whether Gnosticism is the absolute utmost end-all be-all truth. Because I'm also skeptical about Gnosticism. Why is it, Pascal's wager, let's say Gnosticism is true, then why isn't Sophia and the monad doing anything? Not to mention Sophia mistakenly created a demiurge. Shouldn't she own up to her fucking mistakes? Not to mention she's a goddess, she has the power, She's from the pleroma, which is supposedly powerful, but she ain't doing shit. Instead, she's sitting back or standing back watching us suffer, especially those of us that are the real pleromians, so to speak. The real ones that are from the pleroma, but most of other people are made by the demiurge, put here to torment us, to disrupt us, to bother us, But those of us that are the actual legit pleromians, we are yearning. We are learning and yearning and hoping and coping and grieving to return to the source. Instead of going to the supposedly the Sheol or Abaddon or Abaddon, That's the Hebrew Judeo-Christian Bible, I think, something. I looked it up. The Sheol or the Abaddon, shout out to BPV, the legend himself. He spoke about it. If we die, we go to those things. And the Sheol or the Abaddon or Abaddon is a bottomless dark abyss pit, or demon/angel or something named Abaddon. I'm going to say Abaddon because it reminds me of this TV show. I don't know if you watched it, but I watched it. Supernatural, Sam and Dean Winchester. Yeah, Abaddon was in there also, and she's a demon. She's a knight of hell. Or a princess of hell, something like that, So, but online it says Abaddon is a angel or demon, something like that, And she's in charge of she's one of those that are in charge of the dead, The Sheol is also known as the resting place for the dead, or as some people will call it, the afterlife, But it's not all that, it's not all that fine and dandy. It's not the heavenly pearly gates paradise that you imagine it would be. No, it's just some terrain, it's just some realm, it's just some plane of existence that we go to. Supposedly, we don't know for sure. I'm just saying what I looked up online, And that's gonna be the separate video maybe. Most likely, I'm going to be, maybe it'll be short, maybe about 5 or 6 minutes that I'll be talking about it. It could be lesser, give or take. I'll be talking about those things just to share a bit about this Gnosticism thing, and also what the legend himself, the BPV, has been talking about, all the Gnosticism related stuff. Yeah, or else you can look it up yourself, SHEOL, Shoal, or Abaddon, ABADDON. So you can go look it up and learn more, boost your general knowledge. He also spoke about if we pass away, we have to not go into the light, otherwise we'll be brought back here because it's a trap. It's gonna lose us even more. It's gonna lose us some more. It's gonna corrupt us. It's gonna betray us. It's gonna deceive us, etc., etc. All this bull BS running rampant and going on. Still can't make sense of it. Still can't make sense of life. There's 8 billion people and counting, almost 9 billion I believe, or maybe still far off. And let this sink in like a submarine to the pit of your stomach. Why is it that almost each and every one of us, the majority, have to do the exact same fucking things? Why can't we be like those rich people, Mr. Beast, David Dobrik, Markiplier, PewDiePie, who else? Elon Musk, even though fuck him. But I've always wanted to be a trillionaire so freaking bad. Buy out all the things I never had. I want to be on the cover of Forbes magazine, smiling next to Oprah and the Queen, Every time I close my eyes, I see my name in shiny lights. A different city every night. Oh, I swear, the world better prepare for when I'm a trillionaire. Bruno Mars and Travis McCoy. Bruno Mars wants to be a billionaire. I want to be a trillionaire. So I can help people. Because that's what makes the world go round, isn't it? Money. Money makes the world go around, but at the same time it's also the root of all evil. Or maybe one of the things, one of the roots of evil, Because there are all obviously other factors and other things and elements that contribute to the evils and atrocities and the calamities and the catastrophes on this planet. On this pretty much deceitful, deceptive planet, It looks beautiful and wondrous, but behind the scenes there's evil and darkness and all that. It's also like what the legend said himself, the BPV, before the trolls got to him. You see all these beautiful natural things in nature, right? Next thing you know, you see an eagle flying in, soaring from the skies, flying in and snatch a rabbit or snatch a turtle or a tortoise and lift it up high in the sky and drop it so that the shell would crack so it can eat the insides. Unless it's a rabbit or whatever. It can even carry an impala, can even carry a gazelle, a deer, an elk. Don't underestimate the strength of an eagle. It can lift these things up in the sky. It's quite a while back, but I saw a documentary where an eagle lifted a deer. When an eagle lifted a deer, went to the walls, to the sides of a mountain or something, and put it there and devoured it or something. It's incredible. It can lift a whole ass deer. A freaking eagle. Damn. And it's not the young of a deer, it's not a foal or a doe. Yeah, I think it's a doe, not a foal. Foal is a horse. It's not even a doe, it's a fully grown deer. Adult deer. Got lifted, hoisted up in the air and dropped, plummeted, plopped and dropped at high altitudes according to the eagle's attitude, altitude with the attitude, the longitude and the latitude, and the inaptitude. Trying to rhyme. And then just releases and then can devour its meal. It's incredible, right? So we still can't make sense of it, like the title of the video, you know. And there got some people that are retards, that they are saying that this planet is a paradise because they can order something from their home, you know, order from Amazon and it arrives at their doorstep. Bloody fucking retards. And then there's still world hunger, more so than ever. And they like to deceive us and say that there's a food shortage and all that. There's supplies, you know, shortages of supplies. People still have to suffer, can't get education, basic necessities, all this and all that. You know, top left versus right, top versus bottom. I swear to fuck, humans are truly one of a kind parasites and viruses. Viri. It's like what that guy, Mr. Anderson, is it? Mr. Anderson from Matrix, he said, you know what else does that? A virus. You go to one area and you deprive it of its resources and sustenance, and then go to another site. You know what else does that? Virus. Parasites too. That's why, you know, parasites, when they infest a location, as long as there's sustenance, they will thrive. They will writhe, and they will thrive, and they will survive. And they will go live, you know. But once they are depleted of those things, they're gonna die. Or if they find sustenance elsewhere, they're gonna migrate. And how do they do that? They infect some food or something, and then another creature will eat it. And then it will defecate, and then it will exist through the feces or something like that, you know. Or it can even infect the consumer, the primary or the secondary or the tertiary consumer, you know, the food chain, the food web. Bloody stupid. I mean, if we could do that, we would, you know. Make no mistake. If humans could do that, we would too. We would go into a food and we get consumed by a giant living thing, and then it will be passed out through the feces. I know it's disgusting, but hey, who's to say that we might not do that because we can, you know. We might say fuck it and we do it. We might say fuck it and we just be adamant and practical and all that, stoic, and just do it, you know. Conduct, proceed. There's nothing holding us back, you know. Shawn Mendes, there's nothing holding me back. I feel so free when you're with me, baby. Baby, there's nothing holding me back. Yeah, there's nothing holding us back. So who's to say that we won't do such things even though it's disgusting, you know? So that must mean I'm disgusting, you know, Eminem. Now this looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me, because we need a little controversy, because I feel so empty without me. But yeah, all this retardation and stupidity of this planet still can't fucking make sense of it. And then we still have to endure it for the next few years, hundreds of years, thousands of years. Most of us will be long dead, you know. And it's gonna be a new decade, 2030, you know. 2027 is coming. 3 years. Then what? Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, wouldn't we? And best believe that inflation is still gonna be rising. Politics are still gonna be retarded. There's all this competition and sacrificing whatever they can, whatever they have, without remorse, without giving a fuck. You know, lower wages even more. Deduct your wages, or even if they increase, it's very little, or it remains. Forget about saving, you know. I made a video about how to save, how to have more money and all that, right? One of my older videos. And I say save money, how you earn, you spend, and you save. I think forget saving, because eventually you're gonna have to use it anyways, right? What's the point of saving? I mean, definitely save, but it's almost futile, almost. Because you save a huge chunk and then it goes to your bills. It goes to this, it goes to that, no escape, almost. Now I kind of see why people go for high-paying jobs, even though those that are very far and they're still willing to commit and commute. They're still willing to go very far to work at that job that pays really well. Now I see why. Besides the fact that they have expenses, they don't really manage their expenses, But some people, they already have expenses that they did not ask for. It's already bestowed upon them, and for some reason, stupidly they have to deal with it, which is absolutely unfair and retarded and stupid, Now I get it. It could be familial matters to family matters. Maybe, knock on wood, maybe one of the family members or more than one are in trouble, or something happened to them, Maybe they're in hospital, they have to pay the bills, this and that, or trying to support, they're sick. So yeah, now I get it. All thanks to the fucking demiurge, a fucking bitch. Truly a fucking bitch. Look outside your damn windows. Look up to the sky. The fucking bitch is right there. And what is Sophia and the Monad doing? Still nothing. I'm starting to think that they are also bitches too. You just sit there and watch us suffer. How dare you? Or unless they don't exist in the first place, then it will make sense. But if they do, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? You know what the absolute fuck I'm saying? But yeah, I'm almost gonna close this video, conclude. But still can't make sense of life. Got all these 5G transmissions, phones listening to you when you talk about something, and they'll get an ad. I've always noticed that actually, but I couldn't make sense of it because I was so blue-pilled. And I'm a slow learner and a late bloomer, so I'm like, I noticed that. I've seen those incidents happening, but I thought it's no big deal until I heard some of these channels, I watched some of these channels and they said there's something wrong with it. What do you mean nothing wrong? And I'm like, oh crap. So if you think of something or you say something and then you get a pop-up ad or whatever ads, that is something wrong. That means they're listening to you. And also the theory and idea of people listening to you and all that, I never really took it seriously. I thought it was all like, like the typical blue pillars. You're just messing around, crapping around, you don't know what you're saying. No. These things are adamant, prevalent, prominent, dominant, and yeah, it's going on. And rampant, yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Is running rampant. But now I've changed, obviously. Now I've changed my perspective and I believe it too. I'm not like last time, don't worry. I'm not like last time where I'm still like those blue pillars, normies and PCs and Hilux. And you're just goofing around. Stop being delusional. Stop being schizophrenic, and you sound like you have Alzheimer's and dementia, blah blah blah, paranoia. No, now it's true. Now it's rampant and I see it for myself, It's absolutely stupid. You can even kill your microphones and they will still be able to listen to you some way, somehow. Don't be deceived. You can block off all your cameras and all that, but your brain frequencies and waves and all that are still released, so they're able to track. They have some sort of technology, the CIA. It goes through these technologies that we use in our hands, in our palms, or if you use a tablet or a laptop or whatever devices that you don't hold in your palms or palm, singular. it will still be able to pick up on these brain frequencies and transmission and whatnot, brain waves, and will still able to decipher and process what you want, what you're thinking of. What are you thinking of? You know, I'm all out of love, I'm so lost without you. Believing in so long, believing for so long. So it's almost inescapable, you know, just like this life, this bullshit, pathetic life, you know what I'm saying? And then the idea of getting loosed again when you pass away. You think it's all fine and dandy, you know. I hope it's not. I hope that's not the case. But who knows? Who the fuck knows? But Pascal's wager, let's say if that was true, you know, the Gnosticism idea that if we pass away and we go and we will still get loosed, you know, it's not all over yet. So even in death, it's not over. Life is already hectic. And then in the hereafter, in the afterlife, is also not over, you know. It's so dumb, it's so stupid. Can't we catch a fucking break? You know what I'm saying? Our lives are already at stake. Make or break. Enunciate. And what else? Or poison food, poison water, contaminants here, there, everywhere, pollutions, cancer-causing things, you know, chemicals. They even approve some of these chemicals, you know. The food making, the food packaging, and then they use certain chemicals, right? It has to be approved by the whatever associations or agencies and companies and all that, you know, like FDA approved. That one will be the US. FDA approved food department of America or something, you know, if I'm not mistaken. And then other countries have their respective agencies, associations, and departments that approve these things and those things, you know. Like farmed eggs, eggs, you know, whether it's stress-free or whatever, ranch, cage-free, cage-free eggs. I got that RSPCA or something, RSPCA approved, blah blah blah. Yeah, interesting. And then they say organic and all that, but you can't even believe, because most things that was taught to us that we used to believe and all that turn out to be lies. So there's almost nothing to believe in. There's almost nothing that is true. You know, Assassin's Creed, nothing is true. Everything is permitted. I guess we could call ourselves assassins, you know. We work in the dark to serve the light. We are assassins. That's why we stay in our rooms for the most part, because outside the room is doom and gloom. Sweep it up with a broom, and we are not any woman's bridegroom, and all we can do is cope with our mushrooms, you know. Outside the domain is pain and disdain with nothing to gain, and it will be all in vain. You know. So let that sink in like a submarine to the pit of the stomachs. Can we even digest and process these things and those things that we see around you, the world, through our senses? Give me a fucking break. You know what I'm saying? Once again. But yeah, it's just exhausting. It gets so hard to breathe sometimes. At least for me. But I'm kind of doing better now because I just kept breathing in, breathing out deep breaths, you know. It could be that sometimes, shortness of breath. But yeah, it just feels like my lungs are collapsing, knock on wood, you know. or something is crushing my lungs, cinder block in my chest cavity, crushing my lungs, and on top of that another layer of cinder block on top of my chest. So it's double the suffocation and asphyxiation, and the condemnation and the damnation and the retardation and the formulation and the ramification, you know, of this existence. Okay, I've rambled on long enough. Still can't make sense of life. That's all.